Not sure if it's okay for me to record. So everybody says to click the I got it link. Okay, so let's have a little bit more of a vigorous kind of just a kind of a pre-warm up to the warm up. So I've been liking doing this bouncing, kind of just a gentle bouncing. Okay, but keep your structure in line. So we're not going to bounce like this. We still have to have a good straight spot. I mean, you could just do just kind of just get everything. Just let the body know you're going to move. Give the hand shake. Okay. I would suggest that you don't let your head wobble. Okay, and just keep your head steady. I know there's some people. There's this guy, Heine Frohoff. He's the professor of Chinese medicine at National College of Naturopathic Medicine in Portland, and he has this whole thing with the neck wobbling and everything. I don't think that's good for your neck, but you know, I'm not the professor. All right, shake here. Let's do a couple of easy swings just to warm up the body. Here, just some easy swings. Now, it takes me a little while to load the videos sometimes up on YouTube because, but I usually get them. I get them up the next day. I may not have them up like the same day. So, as I said, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get, and you go on YouTube, you'll see like, hey, blah blah, or blah blah 13 or whatever my name is on YouTube. Put a new video out. Oh, and I was going to say, it's mainly for you guys. So, all right. I just open it up a little bit. Open up a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's do a little bit of shoulder roll. The shoulder roll, I think, is really important for us if you stay home a lot or you do a lot of reading or writing. So, so I know there's two directions for our shoulder roll, but I kind of prefer that we just up and open. Okay, so we up and open, up and back. So up, feel your shoulder blade, your scapula, one and down, up. Try to open this space here. We have a lot of hunching in our society. We also have a lot of forward head. So that's something we all have to work on. It's a habit, especially people who really get on their devices. Now we could do the forward roll, which is like this, but I would like you, if we're going to do that, I would like you not to go like this. So try to keep the head up and just move the scapula, move the shoulder blade. So keep the head up. You can pull back, up and forward, down. Pull back, up, but keep the head up. Okay. Let's do the arms. We'll do more, obviously, later. Just 1 and 2. Okay. And I like to keep the deltoid down, this joint. I know some people kind of go like that, but we're just doing this just to warm it up. We could just do a little bit of robot. Notice how my shoulder stays down. All right. Feel the muscles in the shoulder blade work. Okay, holding your posture up, pulling the chin in. Okay, you can squeeze the shoulder blades together and then open them wide. Squeeze them together and open them wide. Okay, let's do our 8 pieces of brocade now. Okay, you may go bouncing. Okay, so feet straight ahead, hands here, inhale up. And reach a little bit, keep the chin straight, exhale down. As you exhale, imagine the torso, the thoracic area gets wider as you exhale. Okay, again. Okay, make sure the low back is nice and neutral. And when you reach up, keep your low back nice and neutral. I don't do very much with it. I don't like arch my upper back. I just try to keep everything nice and straight. Okay. Okay, let's do our pull the bow. So here we are, feet spread here. Okay, now the thing with the pull the bow is here's your hip joint. You kind of sit a little bit in your hip joint. So I'm sitting a little bit in my hip joint, not a lot. I don't need a lot. I keep my body upright. So my legs feel like they're into the floor. My body feels very supported. As a matter of fact, I feel like my body almost gets like can be lifted out of my hip bow, but my legs are sinking down. My hips are sitting down into my legs. My knees are, okay, they are well supported. I'll keep one, I think I'll drop one leg. And so I'll have one side like this, so you'll see the difference. Okay, ready? So let's think of turning the hips. So let's inhale. And then we exhale. I have feel the back of the body to get wide. Okay, so you expand the body. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. Notice how I turn my hip. And then exhale. One more time, the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Focus on the body here a little bit. Let's bring back together. So remember, when we do the move, really, pay attention to what's going on inside your own body. Okay, so inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So even as you exhale here, feel you're getting expanding. Inhale up. Exhale down. You can feel that stretch right here in this muscle, keeping the spine straight. Let's exhale out. All right. So remember our robot now keeps the shoulder blades rolled down and back. Our robot, ready? So ready? And inhale. And then exhale. And you can turn the hip. If you want to turn a little bit more, you have to pick up the foot, but that's just nice, gentle turn of the hips. Then nice, gentle rotation of the thoracic spine, the upper back. But that's the mid back. I think the thoracic spine starts at the mid back, but it goes up. Okay, you can turn the head a little. Now be gentle with your neck. Inhale, exhale, inhale. You can reach, exhale, inhale, and reach a little bit, and then exhale. Okay, let's go up and down. Ready? Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we do 7. Now we're just going to work on our fists, our hands. So let's get that little bit of grip strength. And we're going to curl, so we stretch the extensors, contract the flexors, and then down and back up, turn, down. Now we're going to stretch the flexors and strengthening the extensors. So I'm strengthening this muscle, stretching this muscle. Just breathe normally. And you can push down a little bit too. Go again. Let's do the curl. Now, and you can, I guess, tailor this a little bit to what you might need. Like Greg, if you don't mind, can use that example. So Greg could use a little bit more of this stretch, so he could end by doing this move. Okay, so Greg can make his last set, this move. Okay, but some people have a lot too much of this, so they need a little bit more of this. So you can end your set with doing this move. Okay, so and then you can just shake it out. Okay, so let's work the hips. Okay, remember the hips are ball joint. So, and it moves, it has a really interesting range of motion because it could go like this and it could go around. So you can put our hands on the hip and let's just explore how the hip works here. It can go in a very simple circle. Please keep the low back, don't hunch. Please keep the low back nice and straight. Straight's not the right word. You know, the low back has a natural curve, right? So we don't want to have a flat low back. And we don't want to have like a bulging out low back, right? And we don't want to have an excessively indented low back. So, okay, just find that hip joint. Just move around it. Make simple circles. Notice how the hip can go down and up too. Okay, just kind of just explore these small movements. And it could do figure 8. Okay, we'll be working a little bit with the hip joint and the hands, how they work together. So you can do figure 8. Okay. Of course, you have to use your feet and your knees a little bit, or you have to let them follow the hip. Maybe we should say that. And then you go the other way with the figure 8. Okay. Notice how if you put your hands in, notice that the hands and elbow and shoulder follow the hip. Okay. So we're going to try to remember that when we do our other movements. All right. Okay. And then let's go ahead and just work a little bit with our hamstring. Heel up. Okay. Please really be, I mean, I say this every week, right? But just keep that low back neutral, right? Maintain the natural shape of your spine to the best of your ability, okay? You can go deeper. If you want, you can reach. The thing about reaching, people like hunch. I'd rather have you just focus on this piece. You can also just kind of bend the knee and just sit a little bit. I don't think that's good. Okay. You don't have to lock the knee. Please don't lock the knee. So you can have the knee slightly bent and just sit in the hip or sit back with the hip. And you'll feel that nice stretch in the hamstring. I'm paying more attention to the left side than the right, so let's balance that out. And on your own, whatever side you think needs more. Okay, let's come on up. We'll do a little bit of this, just to open this part here. Engage your core. If you engage your core, it prevents your butt from sticking out, right? So engage your core a little bit. So I think it's a better cue to say engage your core than like tuck your tailbone under. So if you engage your core, it will keep your low back to help you keep that low back. Because that's what you really want to do, is engage your core, not tuck your tailbone, right? So engage your core. All right. Okay, let's rub the back. Okay, let's do a couple more swings. Let's just try this one. Okay, so this is just open and turn. Come back to the front. Open, turn to your right or your left, whichever. Just turn and relax. Soften the knees. Soften the knees. Soften the knees. Soften the knees. Okay, let's come up the middle. Turn to the left. Soften the knees. Come back. Okay, 1. And just let the arms drop. 2. 3. Okay. So let's go ahead and work with our movement. I think I'll go with, no, I'll keep it at portrait mode. This is good because you see my whole body. Okay, so let's go from the beginning. Let me face these straight on. Now, we always do the basics, and I don't know if I've told you the story before. Okay. And why the basics are so important. Okay, so we just stand here nice and straight. We're going to get ready to do our opening, and then we'll just step into like a push. Okay. So you can, whatever leg you want to start with, it's fine. So let's work on our opening and just feel that posture. Pull yourself straight, right? Feel that posture. Feel the back of your body straighten you up. So don't use the front muscles to straighten you up. Feel the back of the body engage, strengthen your spine. Okay. And then relax, just kind of let the breathing sink. Imagine you let the breathing sink into your legs. The legs are supporting you. The legs are in the ground, supporting you. Okay, so let's look at the first move. As the hands come up, you feel that weight really get in, you feel more weight into the feet because the feet have to root you, anchor you, so you don't fall over. Okay. Pay attention to the body. Okay. Let's do this again. Use your body as your object or your subject of your concentration. And just notice what comes up. Okay. Now, if you look at my half-bared leg, I guess, I pivot slightly out. I wait on this leg, and I step straight here, and I'll go ahead and do my push. So we're thinking, trying to imagine like maybe a rowboat, rowing a boat. Just breathe naturally. And what I'm doing is I'm breathing on the pulling back and exhaling on the forward. Okay, but you can just not worry so much about the cycle of breathing. Otherwise, if you do, you might get tense, right? So we don't want to get tense. We just want to be focused. We want to feel the leg, the strength in the leg, the strength in the glute, strong hips. Okay, now strong doesn't mean tense, all right? It means engaged. Hands relaxed, but they're engaged. Okay, so the hands are not, like this. The hands are relaxed, but everything is engaged. And if you want to exhale on the back and inhale on the front, that's fine. Or if you need extra breaths. If you look at my front knee doesn't extend very far over my ankle. That's going to be where I'm going to be like, where I've stopped myself. Okay. And my back knee doesn't bend very deeply in this at the moment. I mean, if I had to take a longer stance, I probably would have to. I'm taking a moderate stance. Do a moderate stance and what's moderate for you. Okay. Okay, I was going to tell you this story. Okay, do a few more on this side. Relax the arms down. Engage, not drop, not flop. Okay. Let's just turn about. We'll do the other side, and then we'll come back. We'll do the other side. Now, fundamentals are very important, even if you learn a few moves. So the story is, it's a story about a famous Chinese artist at the back in ancient times. And at the time, there were portraits of all, I think there were 75 disciples of Confucius. And so this artist, he locked himself up for 2 weeks, and all he did was just copy exactly the portraits of some other artists, of the portraits of the Confucian disciples. He tried to exactly copy the portrait, kind of, I guess, learn the basic brushwork. So let's open the hip now, open the hip a little bit and push back. And after 2 weeks, he showed everybody his work, and everybody was amazed at how perfect it was. It was exactly what it was. It was the exact beautiful copy. Which I don't mean like you copy exactly me, all right? Because everybody's different, body-wise it's different. But we're focusing on his fundamentals, right? And then he took everybody's compliments and he locked himself up for 2 more weeks. And he came back out and showed everybody what he worked. And his other pictures looked nothing like the ones before. So what he learned was learning the basics so he can improvise later. So that's what I'm hoping that we can do here. You learn the basics and you can improvise later, like you can improvise in your daily life. Okay, so let's work with the hip. I'm moving the hip. So I'm going to show you a little bit like this way. I'm moving the hip a little bit open and I'm coming back and turning. Moving the hip a little bit open, coming back and turn. So I can get the hip into the movement. I can get the hip into the movement. I'm not lifting the hip up and putting it down. I'm just kind of turning the hip and putting it back in the movement. Okay. Now this story also happens in Western culture too. There was a singing teacher. I think he was Italian. His name was Pope Perot. I'll have to look it up. But he had a student, and this singing master, he just gave his student like one exercise to do for 3 years or something. And after 3 years, the singing teacher said, "Okay, you're done. You're the best singer in all of Europe now." Which is not my excuse for only teaching you a few things, actually. Okay, so, but you can really see as you take a simple movement, what's involved. My feet are into the ground, my hips are moving, my shoulder feels nice and relaxed. I'm working on my posture. I'm working on my posture at all times, keeping my head up, right? These simple movements can work every joint in the body. My ankle joint, my feet, my knees, my hip, a little bit of my thoracic, elbow, hands. You can let the hands drop like this and extend. With the wrist flex and then extend. With the wrist flex and extend. So a little stretch in the hand joint. 1, 2. You can develop a little wrist strength, maybe like a grab and then a push. Okay. So let's try the other kind of this circle. So we had this way. So let's go this way, like we're pushing out. 1, 2. Feel the legs work. If we do it mindlessly, Tai Chi is very boring. If you're just doing this, it's quite boring. All right, but if you just focus on what's going on in the body, okay. We were doing this kind of pushing. Let me see. How about I get into it? Okay. If you just focus what's going on to the body, it's really quite interesting because you'll notice all kinds of things happening. Okay, and you'll notice how you move. So let me see if we warm it up. Pull back and push out. Pull back. It's kind of like rowing the boat. It's like rowing the boat, I guess. You might find one side a different feel than the other side. Like now I feel really more of my glute on this side. My right gluteus maximus. Okay. To work the hip. And then 2. So let's work a little hip work. In and then out. Into the hip, out of the hip. Into the hip, out of the hip. Notice the power that comes, the strength that comes from working with the hip. Okay. All right. You can inhale. Let's work on our posture. Let's do the brush knee now. I do want to show you something about the brush knee now. So the brush knee is not a push in the sense that it's like this. Okay, see that this is like all just one part of my body. So Tai Chi, there's a saying in Tai Chi, like one part moves, all part moves. It's actually a saying in Chinese martial arts. One part moves, everything moves. Okay, and then the other saying in Chinese martial arts, which is the power is rooted in the feet, directed by the waist, but basically it's directed by the hips. I don't want to say waist because then we kind of think of a belt, kind of, right? But directed by all of this structure. So you can think of, I would say, power is rooted in the feet, directed by the core, okay, and expressed in the hands. Okay, so when we just do individual movements like this, there's no, I mean, there's maybe some power in the feet because I just have to stand myself up, but it's nothing, doesn't feel connected. So when we do the brush knee, let's try to feel that connection. So that's why we go slow, so we get that connection. So let me give you like an angle. Well, first let's go straight on so I can show you how. So feet under the hips. This is our natural thing, right? We don't walk this way unless we have to do something specific. Okay. So let's pivot one foot and I'll go straight out. Okay, so let me just see here. Let's see if I make sure I can show you. I'll pivot one foot and I go straight out. So you notice that the space between my heels is not very big. Okay, so the back hand, or the barefoot hand, the rear foot, comes, now it comes, I turn my hip, it comes up to the ear like this. Okay, and then when I go forward, I don't lead with the hand. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up to the ear, and when I go forward, think of everything starts from the feet. And then think of your core, your hips, directing the hand to the center line of your body. Okay, and I'm going to pull back and let the hand relax. Okay, and then when I lift the arm up, feel these muscles here, do the lifting, and you feel the weight of the arm on the back leg. And then push off the back foot into the front foot and direct the core and let the hand follow through. And then let the weight drop. Now the hand is really heavy, so you're going to use the power of your back foot. Just feel like the foot has to really push into the ground. Okay, now don't uproot yourself like this. Just feel like the weight just sinks into the back foot. Turn the hip and let it flow out the hand. Okay, so we got one hand. Let's have this hand just here for now. Okay, so let's work on this back hand. One. Relax, get the weight of this hand into the back foot, turn the core, turns the hip. Okay, now notice what's happening in this hand. This foot, what is the feeling in this hand as we go forward? Okay, even though this hand's not moving, there's feeling in it. Okay, good. Relax, feel the weight of the arm. Bring it to the ear, and then use your foot into your core, your hip to turn. Let's try working with the other hand. Okay, just the other hand by itself. So have this hand here. Relax now. One. Okay, so as you face it, it's going clockwise. As you face it, it's going clockwise. Okay, depending on which leg is forward, obviously, I guess. But it goes from the lateral to the medial, back to the lateral, or from the outside of the body down the middle of the body. Okay, again, this is something's heavy here, so use your leg to lift and gently set it down. So it's really heavy. You don't want to just drop it on your foot. Just gently set. And as you drop it, feel the weight. You have to use your leg to settle it down. It's really heavy. Okay, so let's try. Let's see if we can put both hands together. So we go nice and slow, so we can see what's going on in the body. So in a sense, Tai Chi is considered moving, it's said it's moving meditation. But meditation is such a broad word, right? It's, I think, more about awareness of your body and how it functions. And because there's so much concentration, it becomes like a concentration meditation. That's a method of meditation, concentration. And let your breathing, adapt to the movement. Just go slow. Feel this is heavy, lifting something heavy. This is heavy too, because you have to let it settle it down nice and easy. All right. Now, remember what I said, there's no tension, but there's engagement. That means you have to make everything active, right? So you can't kind of go like this. Nice and easy. Feel your legs, everything is working. The hips are working, right? You feel the hips work into this move. You really feel the right glute here engage and come through. Okay. Now you can take this posture. I have this is kind of a moderate posture, I guess. You can take this as a smaller posture, but you can still get that whole idea of the feel of the feet working, the hips turning. Speaking of hips, I talked to you about like kind of sitting into your hip a little bit. So I'm not out of my hip like this. See, that's a whole different look, right? Even at this taller posture, I'm still into my hip. Okay, I'm still sitting into my hip. Okay, we've done a lot on this side, so let's go. So we're gonna go, and we'll do what they call on the spot. So I'm gonna come up. You can come up slowly, shift the weight. So this is on the spot. Step back with the other leg and come through. Now we can work the other hip. Keep the posture nice and straight. Now you might find one hip more, I don't know, amenable to this process, or more range. Okay, so you might have one hip that has the mobility, and we're all like that. Okay, but you could just see. So this is good to know, like which side has more mobility. Okay, so one. Take your time, opening the hip a little, turning the hip into the movement, letting the hand just flow through. Feel the weight. So there's something heavy, so I put that weight on the back of my body, right? So I'm thinking there's a heavy weight here. Instead of letting the weight take me out of my body, I put that weight in my body. The hands are engaged, right? So the fingers have a little bit of energy. Feel the hips roll into it, okay? And you can feel the hips roll out of it, right? Feel the hips roll into it, and then they roll out of it. Okay, good. All right, let's inhale. So you should feel, right now I feel kind of like the muscles around my glute kind of feeling active. Let's do a little bit of grass sparrow tail, and then we'll do some form. So I'm going to get a little closer if I can. All right. Okay. So grass sparrow tail. So let's get this idea. How does all this work and all the Tai Chi? Okay. Like, so the grass sparrow tail is kind of like, you're kind of leading somebody around, so to speak. So I go here, and I'm going to go like this, and I push back, for example. Well, sometimes I just can't, I can't, like someone's like here, and I can't like go like that, and right, and I can't like use my legs; they're so strong. So I have to use my hip. Okay, so let's see how that works in grass sparrow tail. All right, so ready? So let's just do the grass sparrow here. And as I go, okay, so here's with the hands up, but you can just think of we can put your hands on the hip and just imagine. So you can go, you sit back and you roll in. You sit back and you roll in. Sit back. You don't really sit back so much as you come down in the root and come out of your root. You roll into your root and back. So sometimes we always think people, when we first learn, we want to know what's going on with the hand, right? And then we can try to get this whole thing with the leg, but they don't feel like they're connected. So we slow down, find our center. Our center is in between the hip bone, and just try to gently roll into that hip joint and roll out of that hip joint. One. And have the hands kind of fall, so the hands are kind of going like this. So the hip is kind of going like that. Okay. Now I'm not doing this though with my hip. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So just very small movements, so you can feel this. These muscles are working here. 1, 2. Okay. 1. Okay, let's do the push. We've been working on the push. So same idea. Open the hip, back on. Back. 1. Press. We don't use the hands so much as we use the legs. And the power's in the feet, up to the legs, and directed by the core. And the hips are part of the core. So all the muscles surrounding the hip joint, those muscles support the spine. That's your core. I'm entitled to talk to you about this because I'm a certified personal instructor. So there's this great video of a guy on YouTube, and I thought it was great. It's what is his name? It's Stephen Kessling. He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor in BC. And the video and his discussion is, don't call me master, don't call me Sifu, do not call me professor or sensei, because his thing was like, you start calling people that, like, and I definitely don't want people to call me Master Bob and all that. Because then it sets people up to think that you know stuff that you shouldn't, that you know. And you shouldn't be talking about stuff you don't know, right? And so he was saying, like, how he had the worst medical advice from all these his martial art teachers ever. Right? All right. So do not, take any medical advice from me, obviously. But since I did get my certification in being a physical personal fitness trainer, I can talk to you about the core and about posture. Okay, so one more time. And about musculoskeletal stuff. All right, let's inhale. So we've been working this a lot. So let's try to just kind of loosen up and expand, and let's do the form. And I think we'll try landscape mode now. Okay, there we go. It's landscape mode. Now, if you have a question, I think there's a button here that says raise your hand. So, you can raise your hand or something. I think you're allowed to unmute yourselves too if you need to. But I'll unmute everybody at the end of class if you have a question. And it occurs to me, Miriam, I will still send you the Zoom link if you find YouTube not easy. So you can still use it on Zoom. Okay. I can send everybody the Zoom link. It's just I don't keep them up on Zoom to stay. Okay, so let's work on the form. I'll stay in my little square here. You guys take all the room you need. So let's think of what we were doing. We're thinking about the feet, the hips, good posture, relaxed, engaged body. Okay, engaged core, support our spine. And a good core supports the strength that Tai Chi would need. Tai Chi is not about just only relaxing. It's about using the natural alignment of your body to perform physical activity. Okay. Let's pull the shoulder up. Your scapula is kind of like a triangle. Okay, so the scapula is your shoulder blade. So here's the bottom of your shoulder blade. So sometimes your shoulder blade goes like that. So try to get the bottom of your triangle to be straight in. So like here. Okay, so instead of this, and this part here, you can think of that coming in a little bit. That will help you. It's a good reminder for posture. All right, ready? So ready, feet into the ground, feet into your surface here, right? The body weight, your body weight rests on your legs, your body weight rests on your spine. Spine transmits all that weight, okay, down into your legs, into your feet. So feel your feet. If you want, you can maybe, grab with your toes a little bit. So get the muscles of your feet ready to go. Okay, as you breathe, you can inhale and exhale gently. Imagine the breath just settles your body down. Root you into the ground. Okay, so let's go with the first move. Legs soft, knees soft. Shoulders soft. Okay, top of the shoulders soft. Relax down. Then you could soften the knees a little bit. So start now engaging your glute. Engage your hip a little bit as you sit back, look to the right, and step out. Okay, one. I'll give you like an angle view. And this way you can see what I'm doing. Okay, it's ward off left, ward off right. Okay, and I'll just settle into each posture. It's very hard to follow on the Zoom, I understand. Look, I'm turning my hip. Turning my hip, turn my hip back. Okay. Turn my hip in. Turn my hip out. Turn my hip in. Turn my hips all the way around. I turn my leg too, so this leg internally rotates into my hip joint. Settle the weight, slide the weight from left to right leg. Find your root in the right leg. Feel the weight press through the ground of your right foot. Okay. Feel the heaviness of the arm into your structure. Look left, step out, single whip. Settle the arms, feel the shoulder blades sink into the body. Pull the chin in, open the hook. We'll go as far as we can into the form today. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to do the pull. The step out for the shoulder strike. Now, do not lean, so the body always stays straight here. 1, 2. Okay, now you have the back view, I think. Okay, relax the arm. Feel the weight of the arm ride down the body into the back leg. So you feel the back leg carry your weight. So here we go. Here's our brush knee. So we worked on this move, right? Take your time. And then as we come in, power expressed in the feet. Okay, up the leg, directed by the hips, expressed in the hands. Okay, directed by the core. I think it's better to think about the core. Let's push off. As I push off, I push down the front leg. If I push down my left leg, and I settle back. Okay, so this is the posture. I need like a multiple camera angles. Another brush knee. 1. Okay. I'm going to pivot the left hip, pivot the leg out of the left hip a little bit. Okay. Transfer the weight from right to left, nice and slow. Step. 1. I'm going to pivot again. Take your time. This arm, the leading arm, relaxes so it feels heavy. You just let it hang down. Push off. Again, as I push off, the weight goes straight down my front heel. Okay, so not on my knee. When I sit back, the weight goes down straight down my back heel or my back half of the foot. It's more accurate. Back heel is too much. Back half of the foot. Or on the heel, on the whole heel. And then brush knee. Okay. I'm going to give you this angle for the punch. I'm going to pivot the left hip open. I'm going to think of winding my right leg into it, into the hip, and I'm going to wind out. Okay, so I'm wind in, wind out. We will discuss that. And we do the punch. The punch goes from low to middle. Punch goes from low to middle. Okay, so it arcs up, push out, relax, pull back, into the hip again, and then push, feel the legs, push out. Okay, let's open up to here. Again, weight on the full heel as I step up. The front part of the foot helps with balance. The full heel helps with carrying the weight. Okay, now here I'm on this posture, right? So I'm not like this. Okay, and I'm not like this. So my weight's slightly back. Okay, but not so far back. And I'm not too far forward because then I can strain I feel that strain. So you find these postures where it's comfortable, where you feel fully supported. Let's go to the next move. Okay, so drop, look over to the right, to behind you, over the right shoulder, and come to with the brush knee, so where everything relaxes. But engage, and I'm going to turn into there. Okay, right hand turns over, something heavy. Put that weight right there on that leg. Drop the weight. Something heavy in this leg, put that weight right here. And then gently use the leg, use the hip to push the weight away, okay? And then we're going to So sorry, right, 1, and now we're going to do the roll back. So remember what we talked about, this is the brass belt there with the hips going. Now the hips are kind of going like this, okay? But we're controlling that. So keeping everything in alignment. Let's do the push, 2-hand push. Okay, for the sake of the video, we're just gonna make this really easy. Take this hand, make the fist, and just come this way. Okay, just for the sake of the video, because it's hard to do this in a 2-dimensional world. Open the fist, and we'll do our stepping backwards. 1. So Mary, there's a wall behind you. You're pushing that wall. There's 2 walls, one's coming at you and one's behind you. You're pushing them away from each other. There's that scene in Star Wars, if you've seen, where Luke Skywalker and his comrades fell into the trash compactor. Okay. And feel that. Feel it pushing this wall away, and the wall behind you, you have to keep both walls away from you. Don't be tense, just be solid. Okay. So here's the next move. We just come out to the side and we turn. And we come up. Okay, and let's step back and inhale. Pull the chin in. Feel the core, feel your legs, feel the breath. All right, very good. Okay, so before we end, let's just kind of review the things that we worked on today. And if you notice, like, because of my spacing here, I did not keep like strict, I didn't do like each cardinal point or each ordinal point, whatever. I didn't do like north, east, west, south. Okay, so be free to go ahead. The Tai Chi is actually, it should be very, in one way, organic. Once you get, just like that artist, right? He learned the way it's supposed to exactly done, and he made it organic. So we could do the same with the direction. So whichever thing is easier, just work with the directions you have. Okay, so I actually had another thought I wanted to tell you about. But anyway, let's go ahead and finish. So we worked, oh yeah, that's right. We worked on push, brush knee. We did a lot of that. And we reviewed the grass sparrow's tail. Okay, but we mainly thought about how this whole lower body functions, enables those moves to have a power, to have strength, to make them a functional move, and they're not just waving your hands out. Okay, so this helps Tai Chi become a full body exercise because you're moving every joint and you're engaging the strong parts of your body to move these joints. You're engaging all the muscles to move an extremity, okay, which is weak. No matter how many curls you can do, this is weak compared to this. All right, so let's do a little bit of Qigong and then we'll finish. People have stuff to do, so let's always work on our posture. I have to, every day I catch myself in bad posture. Okay, just relax. Just find your breathing. Just let go. You can look over all the instructions I give you. Just make this nice and mellow. But always keep good posture. Okay, one more time. Always keep good posture, or Master Chen will come down from Chinese heaven and smack you in the head. All right, very good. Okay, before we go, I will say I will continue to send the link for the Zoom. But apparently some people prefer to have the Zoom, but I can't. I won't be keeping the Zoom videos up. The YouTube will be much longer lasting because you can leave them on forever. Okay, very good. All right, thank you very much. And then let me just get back to everybody here. And let me just unmute everybody. Well, never mind. You guys can mute yourselves if you want to. If you have a question, just let me know. All right, so that's it. And Howard, you're still there, good. Okay, so I will see you guys. Some people I'll see Thursday, and some people I see Sunday morning at the schoolyard in near Fairhaven, Sunnyside. I think it's Sunnyside. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye, Dee. And Miriam, I will send you the Zoom link so you can still watch it on Zoom. All right. Pause recording.